How are we, ladies and gents? My name's Rhys, and recently this happened to my feet. It was the longest I'd tried a trick for, and the most mentally challenging skate puzzle yet. The challenge of skateboarding is what I personally find the most endearing about it, though the people are often nice. I'm one to want to know where the boundaries are on things. I also thought I was a person well geared toward the analysis of high-level skateboarding, as my skatepark pals and I often talk between rolls, marveling about how certain tricks only work properly if you put your front foot here or twist your back foot like that. Skateboarding is endless problem solving if you allow it to be. I've been skating for upward of 15 years and first began around 20 years ago, but only in the last 5 years has this source of exercise, creative outlet, vibrant community, resilience builder, and general enjoyment of life teacher become a proving grounds for myself alone as a motor for personal development. Skateboarding is endless and I love it like nothing else for that. The idea of this channel is to break down, detail by detail, why legendary skate tricks worked. How the greatest things in skateboarding happened. I want to do my best to crack the code on skateboarding's greatest feats and mysteries of ability. Frame by frame, for the flowier rollers, fluid breakdown of parts perhaps. However it happens, I aspire toward a greater potential for already promising future skateboarders and toward more understanding of its mechanics to entry-level skaters and the general public. Skateboarding has such finesse that I think goes unseen by the unpracticed eye. I want to display that. So here we go. Now, this first episode is going to be very different to every episode that follows. This trick was such a chunk of my life that it gave me the boot up the arse to want to start this series. But this first episode is going to be very different. The goal with future eps is to be much more bite-sized, a few minutes long, to break down just the make, from each filmed angle, and if beneficial, some attempts. Like school, it's not about learning, it's about learning how to learn. So it's about learning, whatever. So there wasn't even any intention to try this trick. I was filming my pal Fryer do this wild nose-manny frontside hippie jump, which was ABD on the phone at night, but, upgrade to the fish. There was so much good crew around this day. Shem, Jacob, Misty, Yaru, Dill of Silver Dollar City fame, Nathan Hogan, David Dare, Nixon Osborne, good squadrangle. It was supposed to be the day before the annual Fair Go comp that annually gets rained out, so we abandoned refilming this trick of Fryers, a trick which, let's kick the breakdowns off, you really need to be quick in your step and use the hopefully good energy of the session to drive you to focus and execute that little bit more precisely and powerfully, or trip over the rail and eat some Crete. Due to having just done one off camera while skating with my buddy Bryn, this front shove at late Hardflip thankfully came easy. Having said that, I'd only done 2 previous to this and neither were as clean. Sometimes you get lucky like that. I found fakie front big spin late flips to be a very malleable trick for me and learned the late double flip version. So once the single was landed clean this day, Fryer and I questioned if I should try and do the double flip variant. The first time I ever tried it, I stuck it. I wasn't ready to take it, and it wasn't perfectly agreeing with my body placement, but the knowledge that it was doable was there. I've seen a lot of skateboarding, but I'd never seen someone do this one. I like the thought of adding to skateboarding, even if it ends up being only to your skateboarding. I tried a handful more, to no avail. After this day, I didn't try one or think about them for around 6 weeks. That was about to change radically.
Shenanigans!
Nathan's trying to pay some bills in the back there.
A gust of wind.
Gust of wind.
Oh my lord!
Ophir's dog Bugs Bunny in the back there. I just feel inclined to tell you all about Ballina's colourful residence.
I know what I'm doing now.
I say I know what I'm doing now, which is the biggest lie. In the next 5 or 6 filming sessions, I'll come up with about 10 or 15 different tiny details of motion I think are integral to doing this trick, only to abandon them all at the end. Now I forget about that trick for 6 weeks or so. It's episode 1. Let's get weird. So, in the meantime, B-story. This board is my first flight deck ever. It's not a paid promotion. It's 5 months into its life. Here, The strong marketing point for these is you can run them over in a car and they won't snap. This board had recently been focused by just about every person in the park and was still good for this trick. Misty, Summer and Kayla being the filmer for the rest of these clips and a giant legend as such, all teamed up on my indestructible flight deck and put it in 2 pieces. I was stoked. Here's just one clip. I might edit a full montage of the skater girl board murder someday because it took them about 40 minutes to segment this board. While I'm shouting out Ballina locals, here's 2 clips that I filmed in that 6-week period that deserve more shine from me than I do from me. Here's Stanton Beal and Misty Mildenhall. Follow them. Now back to the subject matter. So this is about 6 weeks later without any attempts or thoughts of the trick. Great return to form there. I was actually warming up a different trick this day, a half cab power slide, shove it to manual, but surprised that was proving a challenge, so I tried this instead. Sweet trade-off. You're not close. Don't say you're close. You're delusional. I actually didn't try one of these beforehand, which is rarely a good move, very ill-advised approach to filming a trick you've never done, and really it's inconsiderate to the filmer. I'm just lucky and thankful that Kayla's so patient and encouraging. Daycare in the back. See, these look like they're doing something right. The flip is happening good, but it's not staying under me. Sometimes this can be good for feeling out the dynamics of a trick and your control and consistency over it, so you don't land primo and burst into flames. But if you skate, or you're just learning, you're going to learn that there's a big difference between landing 1 foot and landing with 2 feet. There's not that many shortcuts with a trick like this, but if you're looking for a hint, and if I could knock some sense into my past self, I'd tell myself that I had forgotten what it was like to land the single flip version over the hip. This day, I was just chucking the double out there to see if I could control the flip, but then my goals became skewed, and I was worried about consistently making the board manipulation happen cleanly. I was worried about it not all fitting in under my feet. I was giving the trick too much credit, and I would have done well to remember that I had already stuck one of these. Incidentally, the first one I ever tried. If, through some dark arts, I managed to be the filmer and the skater this day, it would be abundantly clear to me that I was not going to take home the one I was after. Bit of skate park traffic. The form is a little bit better. You can see I watched the attempts from the day before and recalibrated to keep my weight over the board, but now I'm worrying about the pop being overly centered, which can cause issues on a hip when it comes to popping a trick that spins 360. I should have remembered that my best results with this trick were when my motions were more like the single flip. Eventually I realized I have to go full circle with my approach, but not before several days more suffering I put myself through because this plank is too much good. Beautiful afternoon skies that Ballina regularly has bestowed upon it motivate me a little more to stay over it, but the economy of motion isn't there because I'm still figuring out how to combine the odd one that completes the flip and rotation accurately and stay over the top of it. The can of worms has been opened. The Pandora's bait box is open.
Oh, okay.
I have been baited. Day 4. More camera issue briefing, my little brother t-shirt, shout out to Tim Strong and Sasha for noticing. If you know, then you know, but if you don't know, look, it's really too late for me to explain to you why someone would say, come on for Hogwarts, guys. But anyway, back to sandblasting. I changed my shirt anyway. I probably didn't want to get little brother all sweaty. One-legged dogs don't have sweat glands. You probably make them feel uncomfortable. Just being courteous. Again, it looks like I'm doing it almost right, but I can tell in my body language I'm far too worried about making it all happen than I am remembering that I've stuck it before and that was the clearest path to landing the trick. Instead, I suffer. Remember what approach yielded your best results if you end up in a long-form challenge with a trick. Remember its weaknesses. You must overcome it.
You landed it! What are you doing to me?
I think she's talking about the camera. Kayla was more keen to film this trick than I was. She's ridiculously supportive and encouraging. Thank you, Kayla.
Oh!
Stomped so many 1.5 flips, but each time I had both feet on it, it was motivating. Having said that, I still think it wouldn't have gone down cleanly this day either. Some people think a trick like this is luck and it could have happened out of the blue, but I personally believe in the act of skateboarding, you make your own luck. You control the thing. This day was the biggest investment of time for the least payoff. I'm close to the goal, but I'm deluding myself. Around the final 10 tries of this day, I say to Kayla, it's now or never. Having gotten tired of it, thinking the physics of it will not work and the flip will not end up under my feet in any salvageable way. Completely having forgotten that that desired result had already happened. Some Vanuatu crew in the back there. They're having a great time partying together nearby, periodically hanging around the park and taking care of the DJ duties. It kept me hyped. When the reggae came out, it helped the mood stay light, even if it didn't result in a make. This would be the last day of no make, though. I spectated intermittently with like this unfamiliar skate curiosity. I had a good skate when I arrived, and I guess they thought I was going to deliver on the goods. Unfortunately, I ended up low-quality entertainment, experiencing technical difficulties. Girls, let's get a selfie with this quietly hell-bent idiot. Still not under me. References and tiny dogs, oh yeah. I don't know what that one was, but that would have been pleasant to skateboard away from. And that dog. Dogs are too good. We're not worthy.
Oh!
Dragon Ball GT. Dude slam sitting down in the back there. Really savors the slam. Might just have a nap, eh? These ones keep you thinking, like you're nearly there. Even if you haven't stuck one in 6 weeks, 5 days of attempts, and you've lost the plot completely. But that's soon to change. Shout out to the Roller Girls for hooking up a mid-session saying it to save the day. Accidental single stomp.
Shut up.
Fuck this!
voiceover too. It's summer in Australia right now, and I'm sticking to the chair.
Fuck!
Strap. I've got to admire these dudes' patience with me. I mean, not coming through with the goods. The guy at the top's pretty disappointed in me though. Oh, you can hear my truck loosen in that one. And there it is. Another facet to the story. I went through like 5 kingpin nuts through the course of this trip. Don't know how. Kept thinking my kingpin was de-threaded, but every time it was the nut. Maybe one led to the other. I've never had that happen, but a de-threaded kingpin could easily de-thread a nut, I'm sure. Kingpin de-threaders pretty much do not exist, so I'm just saying, I'm making them, and now that I've said that shit, that's my idea, right? I get royalties? Hell yeah. Pretty hard thing to corner the market on though. I was having to tighten my kingpin nut after every second try here. I bought 2 old trucks I could get the kingpins off of, but then I realized both of these trucks had snapped kingpins, and therefore I had no point of leverage on the other side of the T-tool to stop it from spinning in a tanger or in its grave. So they were useless. You need the base plate to get kingpin nuts off generally. Fun fact. Never ran into that issue. Having said all this, I was weirdly encouraged by my truck falling off, as the same thing happened on a recent similar learn, a building block to this trick if you will, fakie front big spin late hard flip. It's on my Insta, and so is my truck exploding pre-make.
Oh my gosh.
What, you don't want me to talk the whole time, do you?
Oh shit.
Much needed dog break.
He's gonna be taken out by a dog and I've been waiting for like half an hour for Rhys to be taken out of this car. Oh no! Can you get my phone for me?
Where is it?
It's up the top.
Holy shit.
Oh, there it is.
Down the top.
Just play it cool, teacup border collie. They're laughing with you, not at you.
Hello, Stagger!
This kid's gonna fucking take me out. I just fucking know it.
Hear the truck rattle. Unhealthy kingpin nuts. Get sweaty. Has to rip the titties out. Look at them titties. Oh, them titties, baby. Oh yeah. Oh, I just wanna put them in my nose or something equally weird that helps break the tension of me being shirtless in public. Well, I don't know why that's a big thing. Free the nipple. Oh, that was a shit attempt, wasn't it? Jesus. Praise the Lord. Except for when you don't. Day 6. Here's where we start getting a bit of meat, as the honey badger would say. I actually landed my very first one this day, so super clean. Maybe as clean as the final make, maybe 1% less because I was more jarred from the surprise of it, but the camera stopped working, as you've seen it do. Automatically stops recording. It's happened at least once to each of my buddies and ruined some good footage. It only felt right that it happened to me on this, the most enduring trick that I ever tried. Nixon Osborne, ladies and gents, can boost those back heels. Perhaps here you can see just how much difference it makes when I treat it like the single flip version and then trick myself in midair into late flipping it a little harder. Dude doing a walk of shame in the back there. If only he knew what day of attempts I was on.
Rhys! Why did you jump off? Unbelievable!
That was exactly the same as the one that I...
Can't tell if Kayla's serious there, but I thought I'd just address. Even the best one that you just land perfectly bolts like that, all 8 of them under your feet, you know, like, things can go wrong. Your shoulders can lead you astray, and skateboarding is a full body act. Don't let anyone fool you into thinking it's just your feet doing it. Got the bounce back on that one. So I landed this one about as clean as the final make. Then the video cut it off. A week of attempts and this video could have ended right there. But I'm taking it as a blessing because it made me strive harder for a better make. I think it could have been better, but we'll never know. Thanks, camera. Regardless, it was for the better as far as the lighting was concerned, that's for sure. I did a bit of a tic-tac and my body was a little more jarred on the landing, being the first one, as I've said. And I know I would have seen those tiny details until my dying breath, so it was better to redo it. Some focus issues around here. We had to keep taking the lens off and putting it back on again because the camera is shit and would occasionally think it had been removed, automatically turning the camera off. I love my life.
Oh!
You gotta taste it before you make it. Dirt. Oh, such focus. Very well.
There's 3!
Oh!
Did you see that? It was in focus for a little bit there. God, would you look at this Futurama-esque blob go. Fucking bokeh. Quattro. Make number 4. Very shit, but I'm taking whatever I can get at this point, which is very clear. My form's a lot better, and the results are starting to show, but still I must suffer. Hey, there we go, number 5. At least there's no shoe drag on that one, just the biggest tic-tac that breath freshness has ever warranted. Ooh, yeah, that'll freshen your breath, boy. Day 7. You'd want to hope this is the last day. Taking a new / the oldest approach, I started warming up the single flip version, and I was actually pretty pessimistic because once we started filming they were giving me some difficulty. I only ended up getting 2 of them. Neither of them were especially clean, and I guess you just have to call it. I decided it was time to move on to the main event. And first try. Whew. The sweetest relief. I had sunscreen in my eye as well. That'll do it. I had this idea in my head that once I did this trick clean, I wasn't going to pop my tail again for weeks. That's silly. Not even the good kind of silly. Ow! I was telling Kayla she could easily learn to ollie up and pivot into fakie on this bank. She mostly skates ramps and doesn't do a lot of ollies or tricks that involve ollies, so I started skating this with her. And before I knew it, I had a handful of new little baby NBDs. Certainly nothing I'd be as stoked on as the last one, but new tricks nonetheless. New tricks are the best tricks. Shout out to anyone who gets the weird the stripper reference there.
Hey! Little toe grab. Hey!
So this part of the video is essentially the part of the video game where you've beaten the final boss and now you're just free to roam and do whatever, and it's just all
Shenanigans!
Woo!
So,
What happened, Rhys?
I don't know.
What did you do?
Hello, John.
Come on, Stella. Yeet.
Cut back to that seagull from yesterday.
Air Force heard about the treeks. They're patrolling the stunts.
I even got that on my phone.
One more shout out to Kayla Matthews.
Fuck yes.
Biggest legend.
Races, paces, everyone.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes! Oh, sunny dog. Oh, look at the little sunny dog.
It's very fresh today, the sunny dog. Some really fresh sunny dog in town today. In store.
Hello, puppy.
Look at the little sunny dog.
Hello.
Oh no. Wiggly, 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 wiggly.
She's so happy. Yes. Go. Race Walker, 5 days of filming to get this trick. How do you feel?
Very, very relieved. I did not think that was going to be the first try, but fucking, a trick like that is all about thinking about the single flip version of it.
Yeah.
And just, you know, giving a little bit more of a boot on it. And to do that, a bit of a boots boy.
Rhys's pieces, everyone. Support your local Rhys Walker.
Truly honoured. Thank you to Kayla. Matthew is the biggest legend in the world for hanging in there over this whole battle of doing this stunt, which I wasn't sure if would, like, I was joking, like I need to watch season 3 of Rick and Morty to fully understand physics to make this one work, because I didn't think that you could fit it under your feet, but screw that.
California dreaming.
So much steak.
Yes! Oh, yes! Almost a week and we got it.
Yeah, fully, yeah, what a battle.
So that's it. Hopefully this was a compelling view, wasn't too arduous. This was just such a crazy week of my life. And these filming sessions weren't all back to back, but collectively, yeah, such a crazy week of my life in terms of just testing my mental fortitude and problem solving, you know. And I truly feel better for having had this experience, as torturous as it may look. But this is how things happen. And I'm excited to do this skate breakdown thing, so I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoyed. My name's Rhys. What's yours? Yeah, I saw that little tic-tac. It's just clean enough for me to be happy with, and it's a front shove at late double hard flip. Give me a break. But, you know, let me know if you thought that was unsatisfying, and I'll go and do it again. Test what I've learned. I kind of want another one anyway.
Shenanigans!